Coming up on today's show, we have stage performer and writer Kaitlyn Plyley, reviews of the new film Noah, and a short film directed by Audra Murray. You're watching Showreel.
Welcome to Showreel. I'm James Peters.
And I'm Tony Pankaluik. Joining us today as guest host is stand-up comedian, poet, and host of Mega Hers on 4ZZZ, Kaitlyn Plyley. Welcome to the show, Kaitlyn.
Hey.
How you doing?
Yeah, really good.
It's good to hear. So tell us, first of all, can you explain to us, what is slam poetry?
So slam poetry sort of evolved in the 80s in Chicago in the US, and it was a way of getting people interested in poetry readings, because the problem with poetry readings is a lot of poets go there and they just read a book until it's their turn to read their poem. Don't listen to anybody else. It's only poets in the audience. It becomes quite insular. And so slam poetry introduced like competition into the mix. So it's a competition. You get 2 minutes on stage to impress the audience. The judges are chosen from the audience. And that means that people come who aren't necessarily waiting to have their own turn. They just want to actually listen and be entertained. And there's a certain style of poetry that's evolved because of that format, which is now called slam poetry. It gets a little bit of flack from real poets? No, I shouldn't say that. I just alienated everyone in the poetry community. But there's a lot of page poets look down on it. I really like slam poetry because it's often influenced by hip hop. I like hip hop, so yeah, it's what you make of it. It's really fun.
Cool. So how long have you been working in the industry for?
I've been doing slams since 2006 or 7, so about 7 years, I think. Yeah.
Awesome.
So why did you decide to sort of get into this stuff, like stage performing and, the slam poetry?
Well, when I was in high school, I was going to be an actor. I was going to go to NIDA and I was going to be on Neighbours. It was going to happen. And then I did my end of year 12 drama exams, and I'm really bad at acting. So I needed to have a backup plan. And when I discovered slam poetry, it was a way that I could write my own material and immediately perform it. You don't have to go through too many gatekeepers or anything like that. You can just register. And then I had access to an audience immediately, and I found that I've always written poetry, so it kind of just fit everything that I liked together. It was really fun.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. So how did you get onto being a radio host, and what's it like?
It's really fun. It's great. I don't have to worry about my hair or anything. No one can see me.
You can just rock up.
I can just rock up. We just literally wear just pajamas sometimes. But I actually got into it one of the co-hosts at the show Mega Hers on 4ZZZ came to see one of my poetry slams and then contacted me on Facebook, said, do you want to come and do an interview on the show? And then when I was doing the interview on the radio station, I was like, this is so much fun. Can I just stay? And so that was a year ago, and I'm still on the show.
All right.
Yeah.
So in terms of this current, in the industry now, where do you see yourself now, and sort of how did you get to where you are, and how did it come about? Because I know you mentioned high school and as a backup plan, but radio hosting, you got the poetry, just how did it all come at once, or just a gradual?
Gradual,
Yeah.
Lots and lots of work. And something that's really important was that I had to break out of that institutionalized idea that if I did the course and got the marks, then the career would follow. I did my Bachelor of Arts degree with English and Communication Studies majors, and I did the arts practicum internship at the local publisher, did all the unpaid internships and all that kind of thing, and still no paid work was coming in. It didn't help that I graduated right around the time the GFC hit, so that wasn't good timing. But I had this idea that I was well, I'm good, I get good grades, so I should be getting jobs. But it's really, unfortunately, not the case. You don't have some kind of linear progression through a career. It was just more of a case of showing up all the time, and that's what I have written on my wall at home, is just show up. And it's things like going to the radio interview and then saying, hey, could I could I just be a co-host? And really just sticking your neck out all the time and not waiting for someone to hand you the opportunities, because everyone's busy and they're not going to do it.
Yeah, I guess sometimes it really is like who you know, not what you know as well.
Which I really feel like that's quite a shame, because then so many talented people who aren't good at promoting themselves don't get opportunities. But I feel like there's a lot of people like me who are really passionate about pulling other people up with them. So if I get any success, I want to pull other talented people up and say like, I've got an opportunity now. People are starting to like give me like residencies and stuff like that, or jobs. So then who do I know who is really good and I would like to see working as well?
Awesome. So you recently did a run of shows in Perth.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
It was a little bit about knowing people again.
Yeah.
But also I applied for, so I was at the Blue Room Theatre in Perth, which is one of my favourite theatres, because I grew up in Perth, going to shows at the Blue Room Theatre. And I did Barefaced Stories there, which now the director of the Blue Room Theatre is one of the co-creators of Barefaced Stories, which is a storytelling event. So I sort of knew some of the people working there, and I applied to do a season at their theatre, and they said, we'll do an interview, and they were like, look, we know you, we know that you're reliable, we know that you reply to emails, you know, we know that you will not flake out last minute, you know, that happens sometimes. Artists will freak out and then not show up for their season, which can't even imagine, but I guess it really does happen. And so they said, yeah, we'll take a chance on your work. And it was really fun. I keep saying it was really fun. It's just fun, guys. If I could, I'm a writer.
Is this sort of typical of like your sort of daily, you know, your normal day-to-day stuff? You're always busy, you know, with doing interviews, emails, and trying to juggle this stuff around. Is that typical of what happens, or?
Yeah. Yeah, I like it because I make my own schedule, so I can wake up in the morning whenever I feel like it and get the work done when it gets done. I have a lot of deadlines. Deadlines keep me going.
That's it.
Deadline's the best thing and the worst. But yeah, I sort of have a lot of different projects going at once pretty much all the time. So I have a big piece of paper on my wall for the, like, it's sort of map of the whole year, so I can remember where I'm at and remember how to, and it helps me prioritize, because I find that really difficult. I'll procrastinate the thing that I don't really want to do, like the admin stuff, and I'll just focus on writing stupid jokes for my next hypothetical stand-up gig, when I should be writing media releases and stuff like that. So when looking at my big year calendar helps.
Awesome. Well, we have to take a break, but we'll be back soon with more Showreel. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Showreel. We're chatting to Kaitlyn Plyley.
Hi.
How are we doing?
Just before the break, we were talking about what is it like in a typical day. But a question that I have is, what do you need to make it in this profession?
When I was younger, I thought talent was the most important thing. And I mean, talent's important as well, but organization. You've got to be organized, I really think. And especially because it's difficult, like it's not a 9-to-5 job, so I don't sort of clock on, clock off, and I don't finish working ever. So like last night I was up till 1 a.m. writing media releases, which let me tell you, it was a crazy night, just editing commas. But yeah, so I mean, organization has been probably the best thing. I think public speaking has been really good. I do know some people, well, I mean, especially if you're a performer, you know, shock, you've got to be good at public speaking. Yeah. Some people do manage to overcome it, but I seem to be one of those rare people that is not nervous about talking in front of crowds. It's like talking to a couple people, except there's more. There's 400 more.
It's interesting you say that, you know, public speaking and organisation. That leads into my next question, and that is like, what is the most difficult obstacles to overcome? Would that be those two things you'd mentioned, or is there other things we may have missed out on?
I think self-belief has been the biggest obstacle for me, like just believing that I can do it and that I'm worth, because you know how so many people want to have creative careers, like it just seems like, I always thought that anyway. I just thought that I wanted a career that everybody wanted, and so I thought that I was being selfish if I went for it, you know, like I should just knuckle down and do something more reasonable. And it turns out that my skill set just suits creative industries, and that not everybody wants to work in the creative industries, and it's okay to want to have this career. It's okay to work towards it.
Speaking of careers, what do you have coming up at the moment? Like anything, you know, you'd like the audiences to know?
Yeah, I'm actually working on a show at the moment for the E03 Theatre Festival, which I'm really excited about. Got 4 of my mates together. We all got together and we're putting together a live Up Late show. So we're doing it at Found in Albion, and it's going to be every Friday night during the festival. And basically, it's kind of like Jimmy Fallon, except instead of Jimmy Fallon, we've got Scott Wings, who's a local poetry celebrity and a comedian, and very, very funny, and a mate of mine. So, you know, I'm a little bit biased, but he's great. Yay! And we're going to interview like artists from the Anywhere Theatre Festival and do some live sketches with them, make fun of them, you know, maybe pull the audience into some games, and it's gonna be really fun.
Now for the really, really deep question. In life and in your career, what is your ultimate goal?
To be happy. Pretty lame.
Fantastic answer.
Yeah.
All right, to cap it off, our just interview with Kaitlyn, who's your favourite actor and what's your favourite film?
I actually thought really hard about this. Favorite film is easy. It's Pride and Prejudice by Joe Wright. Freaking love that film. It's beautiful and it's Jane Austen. Love it. Also Mr. Darcy, I mean, come on. But favorite actor, I first was going to say Jennifer Lawrence, but then I realized she's actually my favorite celebrity. I love what she does outside of acting and her acting. But Jeff Goldblum, I'm going to have to go with Jeff Goldblum.
A lot of people say I look like him. I don't know.
You do. Maybe that's why I thought of him.
Okay.
If you know, start just going like, just doing a bit of this, just sort of like, life will find a way.
Thank you for that. That was fascinating.
Yeah, it's great to have you on.
Yeah, it's awesome. But now we're going to move on to the trailers. And now the recent biblical epic Noah, directed by Darren Aronofsky, that's also written by Aronofsky himself, and Ari Handel is proving controversial amongst religious people. It stars Russell Crowe as the titular Noah in the creative retelling of the story from Genesis. For those who, for some reason, have never heard of the story before, in prehistoric times, the world has been corrupted by humans. So God floods the entire planet, sparking only Noah, his family, and 2 of every animal, all of whom float in safely on a massive wooden boat. Let's take a look at the trailer.
No. What did he say?
He's going to destroy the world. Can it not be averted?
Man corrupted this world and filled it with violence. So we must be destroyed.
A great flood is coming. We build a vessel to hold the innocent.
Mama! What's them?
What do you want? Did you really think you could protect yourself from me in that? It's not protection from you. I have men at my back, and you stand alone and defy me. I'm not alone. When they come, they will be desperate and there will be many.
Snakes are coming too?
All that crawls, all that slithers.
Remember, Noah, he chose you for a reason. Take the ark!
Choice was in your hands, Noah.
Begins.
There seems to be a curse in the industry with films that have a biblical background, that the actors tend to either fall off the face of the earth or just lose their popularity dramatically. Noah might just be a game changer. Not. This film follows the story of Noah, played by New Zealander Russell Crowe, who is given the task to build an ark to help save the innocent from the destruction of the world. With the aid of some fallen angels called Watchers, Noah does just that. This film was an underwhelming, silly, and to be honest, a more supernatural experience than a religious one. I give this film 3 stars out of 5. But nevertheless, if you need an ark, I do know a guy. Have you seen Noah?
No, I haven't.
Funny.
Oh, puns
Yes.
are my favourite things. No, it wasn't that bad.
How was the story arc?
No, but really, it wasn't that bad. But if you were going to go into the film expecting something, yeah, you're going to be disappointed. I just think it's going to be a bad thing for all of their careers, and I know it's very pessimistic, but you know.
So is he the next Mel Gibson?
Oh, let's hope no one's the next Mel Gibson.
We don't need any more.
Yeah. Well, we have to take another break now, but we will be back with the short film Lot 42. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Showreel. This week we have yet another excellent short film from QUT, which showcases more of the superb talent we have in and around Brisbane.
Today's short film is Lot 42, directed by Audra Murray. Let's take a look.
There's no getting it back. That's Mr. Charlie's house.
I would say you have a whole collection of toys. Excuse me, sir. Hi, Mr. Cal, please have my helicopter back, please.
Care for some cake, my boy?
Can you have my helicopter back now, please?
Ah yes, the helicopter. It's through the hallway, in the backyard, and if you could find it, it's all yours.
So guys, what'd you think?
Not bad, actually. I quite enjoyed it. Had to watch it the second time because originally I didn't actually understand what it was about, but it didn't click to me. I think we all just had it just then with as the credits were rolling, how he had all the toys.
I think they buried the line that the old man said a little bit too deep. I didn't really catch it. It should have been more momentous when he said, anything you find you can keep. Then the boy's reaction is more obvious.
But like on the technical level, I thought the cinematography and like the mise-en-scène, that was all beautifully done. Yeah,
you know, I know I've got a bit of a tendency to like rip on every film we get here, and people must hate me for it, but I've actually only got one negative thing to say. When God, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? When it was dollying, like, you know, moving across the glide track or whatever, sometimes it seemed a bit shaky.
Yeah.
But that is so minor. But literally, that's the only thing. You know, the color balance was fantastic.
The music was it just really complemented the mood, and they really captured it. I thought
it was really well lit. I liked the costumes. I thought the little boy looked really good on screen.
Yeah, and it didn't make it feel like it was from, you know, like it happened last week sort of thing, because of what he's wearing, even though, you know, they wouldn't have had those sort of remote control helicopters. But, you know, they kept with the theme. I think with the suspense was done really well as well, because I know, you know, what it's like going into the creepy neighbour's yard to try and get your toy out isn't a fun experience. And they really captured that, and I enjoyed that.
I think we should point out that boy did break and enter into that old man's house.
He didn't even knock.
He is now being investigated.
Yeah, what about the colour grading? Does everyone like the colour?
Loved it.
That was the best thing, I reckon.
Yeah.
They really set the tone for the film really well, aesthetically.
And it didn't change that much. That's what I like as well. I like films that, you know, stay with the same colour tone going throughout the entire thing. Yeah,
it's very consistent, and they did a very well done job. So well done, Audrey.
Yeah. That's all we have time for today.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us, Kaitlyn.
That's been my pleasure.
Awesome. You had fun here.
Fun is my word.
Yes.
Lots of fun.
Word of the day, isn't it?
That's it. Check out our website, the Showreel podcast on iTunes, and our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. And Kaitlyn, would you like to take this opportunity to plug?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
I'm actually trying to get 1,000 followers on Twitter, and I'm only like 12 away, so let's go.
Good luck with that.
It's at K Plyley. It's spelled how it sounds. And just come and follow me. You can find links to all of my stuff. And the Anywhere Theatre Festival show starting in May.
Awesome. And yes, we are going to keep going on about it. Please donate to our Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign. Your support will help up-and-coming filmmakers, actors, and presenters, including us, continue to gain invaluable industry experience from community television.
Tune in at the same time next week for more Showreel. See you then.
Showreel, huh?
Yeah. Well,